Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing. Ah, good. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Movie Watcher 123 here, and I'm doing this live stream the second time because the first time I tried to do this live stream, uh, the signal was bad, so I had to start over. So today we are going to be talking about the best and worst moments of one of my favorite shows, the Ghost and Molly McGee. So as soon as some of my friends join in, we will begin. Now, I want to tell you about this show. In the human realm, 13-year-old optimist Molly McGee arrives in her new hometown of Brighton, only to discover a grumpy ghost named Scratch haunting her new house. Scratch curses Molly in an attempt to scare her away. However, this backfires, forever binding him to her. After a rocky introduction to Molly's family, Scratch and Molly form a tentative friendship. Shortly thereafter, in the ghost realm, the level of misery in Brighton decreases slightly. The Ghost Council's chairman notices this. While initially antagonistic towards her, Scratch opens up to Molly with time, and their friendship strengthens. So that's what this show is about. Molly McGee is voiced by Ashley Birch. Scratch is voiced by Dana Snyder. A lot of characters play in this show. Pete McGee plays Jordan Klepper. Well, actually, Pete McGee is voiced by Jordan Klepper because that's Molly's dad. Sharon McGee is Molly's mother. She's voiced by Sumali Montano. Montano also voices Grandma Nin. Daryl McGee is voiced by Michaela Dietz, Molly's mischievous younger brother. Libby Stein Torres is voiced by Lara Jill Miller. You know, she also plays Lisa Loud. Andrea Davenport is voiced by Jules Metcalf, Molly's arch nemesis and occasional frenemy. There's a lot of characters in this show, so yes. Okay, if you have any episodes of The Ghost and Molly McGee you want to talk about, drop them in the private chat or in the comments. I've provided the link, so whenever you're ready to join in, go right ahead. Okay, I'm going to put the first episode down. And here it is. the curse. Now, this episode is when the McGee family moves into a decrepit house in their new hometown of Brighton. That just so happens to be inhabited by Scratch, one of the worst ghosts in the ghost realm. But don't tell him that. Molly, the daughter, immediately, quote, befriends, unquote, him, who in his anger accidentally curses her so that he is forever tied to her. He tries to scare the family out of the house so that the curse can be broken, but Molly convinces the family to stay. Taking the advice of her grandma Nin, she makes a sal fra fum for Scratch, who graciously accepts it under the condition he be fed. In the ghost realm, the chairman notices that Brighton's mystery gauge went down. So yes, that's what happened. Mo- you know, Scratch tries to scare Molly, but unfortunately, it didn't work, and he's eternally tied to her forever. So yes, that's what happened. Okay, let me check the private chat for a minute. Oh, nothing yet. Okay, next one. Next one. First day frights. In this episode, Molly is nervous about her first day at her new school, which Scratch tries to take advantage of, but she throws caution to the wind. She ends up upsetting influencer Andrea Davenport after mispronouncing her name twice, and becomes a pariah alongside similar student Libby. When Molly refuses to back down, Scratch loses his temper. Andrea accidentally sees this and faints. Molly tries to rush Andrea to the nurse's office, but Scratch reveals Molly with the unconscious Andrea to everyone in the school. Shocked at the sight of Molly holding Andrea's body, everyone begins to insult her, but Scratch gains empathy and possesses Andrea's body and makes a declaration that people can pronounce her name however they want, and that Molly and Libby deserve better treatment. Molly claims Scratch does care about her, much to his chagrin. So yeah, this is the first episode when Molly first met Andrea Davenport, an influencer. I wonder what does that mean? Hmm. Oh well, beggars can't be choosers. Okay. Next one, Howlin' Harriet. In this episode, Molly wants to have a human best friend and filters it down to Kat, Sheila, and Libby, who are who are all Wilder scouts. She decides to camp with them while Scratch deals with Jeff, a goofy ghost who claims to be his friend. On a camping trip, Molly seems to favor Sheila and Kat while Libby clumsily meanders through the woods. At night, Libby tells the story of Howlin' Harriet. Scratch decides to scare the girls until the real Howlin' Harriet appears looking for her missing toes. Molly and Libby make toes for her and she leaves satisfied. Afterwards, Molly and Libby become best friends. Well, that's nice. Molly and Libby. They're gonna make good friends with each other. I wonder what Scratch had to say about that. Okay, next one. Here it is. The unnatural. Now, in this episode, Molly supports her school baseball team, the Lemmings, who are terrible. She decides to be their primary supporter and joins their team. She turns out to be just as bad, and when the opposing team insults her, Scratch uses his powers to make the Lemmings win. She is at first upset, but Scratch convinces her to go along with it, even though the team still has no spirit. For the last game, Molly decides to not use Scratch and the ball is hit, only for it to fly and be caught by Libby with her mouth. Molly succeeds in raising her team's spirit while Scratch scares the opposing team's lead player to meet his daily scare quota. So, the school's baseball team, the Lemmings, were losing a lot, and Molly tries to help them. At first, she was terrible, but she managed to turn things around. Smart girl she is. Smart girl indeed. Okay. Any more episodes you want to talk about? I've provided the StreamYard link, so feel free to join in whenever you're ready. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay. Next one. Getting the band Shell back together. Now, in this episode, hang on a sec, guys. My mom's calling me. Hey guys, I'm back. Now then, back to business. Getting the band Shell back together. The McGees go to a retirement home to do volunteer work. While there, Molly meets Patty, who recalls Brighton's band shell, which was destroyed in a hurricane years ago and never rebuilt. Molly goes to the mayor to pitch an idea to rebuild the band shell, but they refuse. So she and Daryl collect money from everyone. They manage to get the materials, but not the labor, and Molly holds a community day. No one appears, much to her disappointment, but the retirees eventually show up, causing the rest of the town to come and finish building the band shell. Molly suddenly realizes she in it. So yes, that's what happened. She needs to find someone to play the band shell. All right then. All right. The next one, the greatest concert ever. Molly decides to get country superstar Kenny Starr to play at the band shell and has even meticulously charted where his tour bus would be. Word gets out, forcing the McGees to respond. When they learn that the tour bus Molly chartered belongs to Kenny Starr's stunt double, the McGees head home dejected and forced to face the large crowd. Scratch gives into his empathy and finds a random tour bus, possesses the driver, and races it back to Brighton. Just as Molly is about to tell everyone the bad news, Scratch arrives with the band, which turns out to be Daryl's favorite K-pop group, Atomic Pink. Everyone celebrates nonetheless. So, just as things were about to go from bad to worse, Scratch arrives and saves the day and the show. Molly couldn't be prouder. So, yes. Okay. Next episode. Next one. Mama's Gotta Hustle. In this episode, the McGee's van breaks down and they are unable to cover the costs. Sharon decides to take on odd jobs via an app called Gig Pig. Meanwhile, Pete and Daryl clean the basement and find a locked door and try to open it. Sharon gets small increments with each job. Eventually, Sharon manages to earn required funds, but Pete and Daryl manage to open the door and discover it was the house's water heater, which they damage in the process and need to cover that cost too. Despite this, Sharon decides to continue her efforts with GigPig. So not only did their van break down, but their water heater got damaged as well. And Sharon, who was Molly McGee's mother, decides to continue her efforts with GigPig. Okay, let's talk about the next episode, shall we? All right. All right. Next one. Hooray for Mollywood. Now, in this episode, disappointed with a horror movie she just saw, Molly decides to make her own with Libby, Daryl, and Scratch. Their filming is less than stellar, and they run into Andrea, who offers to help them make their movie through her connections. They get a studio to work with, but Andrea continues to make changes that result in all of them getting booted out. Bossy. Molly decides to allow Scratch to perform a real haunt as revenge, and he scares off the entire crew, ending production. Daryl filmed the carnage and they edit it together as their horror film. So, horror movie that they saw in the first part of this episode, they didn't like it, so they decided to make their own horror movie. Hopefully, a good. Okay, that episode is done, so let's talk about the next one. If you want to join in, the link is right there. All right. One. Not so honest Abe. In this episode, Marley has to put together a presentation about Abraham Lincoln to convince Marley that he knows him. Scratch and Jeff, he is Lincoln. However, Jeff begins to feed false information to Molly, causing her grades to falter. Scratch manages to locate the real Lincoln, who's voiced by Kelsey Grammer, who has him come to terms with the fact that he cares about Molly's opinion of him and wants her to think he is cool. He brings Lincoln and he helps Molly put together a presentation that grants her an A+. Scratch apologized for lying to Molly, but then lies that he knows Albert Einstein when her science project is due. So yes, after Greg began to falter, Scratch manages to find the real Abraham Lincoln, and Molly got an A+. Okay, next one. Hang on a sec. So yes, at first, their relationship between Gannon didn't go so well at first, but in the end of this episode, they finally made up and they no longer have tensions with each other. So, that's what happened. Okay, let me put down the next episode. Next one. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on. Chocolate Rail Fanner says hello. Well, hi. Hello there, Chocolate, the Texas Rail Fanner. Nice to see you. Now, let's talk about this next episode here. Come on. Mazel Tov Libby. Now, in this episode, Libby invites Molly to bat mitzvah and becomes excited after seeing videos about the ceremony. However, when Molly arrives, she is surprised to find that it is very plain and that she is the only guest. With Scratch and her family's help, Molly spruces up the ceremony. Libby becomes unnerved by the abundance of guests. She tries to get through the night but breaks down, realizing that she was going against. Okay, back to this episode. Mazel Tov Libby. Libby invites Molly to her bat mitzvah and becomes excited after seeing videos about the ceremony. However, when Molly arrives, she is surprised to find that it is very plain and that she is the only guest. With Scratch and her family's help, Molly spruces up the ceremony. Libby becomes unnerved by the abundance of guests. She tries to get through the night but breaks down. Realizing that she was going against her friend's wishes, Molly drives everyone off by releasing bats, brought by Scratch based on his confusion over the ceremony. Molly spends personal time with Libby and her family for the rest of the night. So yes, that's what happened. Bat mitzvah? I don't even know what that is. But okay, let's talk about the next episode. Okay, here is the next episode. No good deed. Daryl gets in trouble at school and asks Molly to teach him how to be good. Despite some trouble, things seem to work out. However, unbeknownst to Molly, Daryl uses her nice lessons as a way to get rid of the teachers by sending them to prison, not understanding that he needs to be nice to them too. Molly, Daryl, and Scratch go to rescue them, but the teachers who were previously arguing think they are doing a team building exercise and manage to escape from prison, blissfully unaware of the trouble they were in. With the teachers on better speaking terms, Daryl does not learn his lesson, much to Molly's chagrin. Okay, apparently Daryl did not learn his lesson for what he did, but Molly was just trying to help him out with bad antics. Did they work? I don't think so. So yes. Okay, next episode. Let me just put it down. Okay, next one. The turnip twist. In order to defeat Perfect Borg in next month's issue of the Midwest Monthly, the mayor places Molly and Pete in charge of a turnip festival. Scratch is threatened by the Ghost Council that if the festival is a success, he will be tossed to the flow of failed phantoms. Eva the inspector ends up enjoying the festival, but when Scratch tells Jeff what will happen, he ruins Brighton's chances of winning, making Pete very upset, but saving Scratch from punishment. However, due to the festival going viral, tourists proceed to book their stay at Brighton's motel for next year, making Brighton's misery meter go down anyway. So there was a turnip festival going on. Unfortunately, Jeff ruined Brighton's chances of winning, making Pete very, very upset. So yeah, I don't think that wasn't very nice of to do that. Just a minute. I'm gonna then I'm gonna end the stream. Just a minute. Next one. All systems no. Molly and Scratch challenge each other to only say yes and no, respectively, for the whole day, via another curse. Meanwhile, the rest of the McGee family try to remove a bee from the house. Grandma Nin tells them that bees are good luck and therefore they should not harm it, but that only results in more bees showing up. The bet between Molly and Scratch ends up backfiring on the duo, as Molly ends up being miserable, saying yes to everything, while Scratch is forced to give up a major opportunity with the Ghost Council. They swap for the rest of the day and return home where they help get rid of the bees. So yes, a bee came into the house, but they don't want to get rid of it. Trust me, I don't like getting stung by bees. They sting. I got stung by those things 3 times already. 3 times. Okay. 2 more episodes. Then I'm gonna end the stream. Let it come up. Monumental disaster. Brighton praises its hero Ezekiel Tugbottom by unveiling his statue. Molly meets his ghost, and while impressed at first, she quickly discovers that he is an arrogant blowhard who in no way lives up to his heroic legacy. With Libby's help, she learns that Ezekiel was lazy and that his older sister Sally was the true hero of Brighton. As she exposes this information, Ezekiel attacks her and ends up destroying his own statue. Luckily, Scratch arrives with Sally's ghost and her bear to stop him. Inspired by the new information, the mayor rightfully erects a statue of Sally instead. So yes, unfortunately, Ezekiel's statue is no longer there standing in Brighton no more. Now it's Sally. So yes. Okay. One more episode. And then I'm gonna end the stream. Okay. This is the last episode I'm going to talk about. Talent show. Libby accidentally signs up to perform at the school talent show. When she was trying to sign up for a tech crew, Molly pushes her to go forward with a singing act, only to learn that she is terrible at it. Scratch wants her to fail miserably, as talent shows are considered high on misery points, but Molly does everything she can to stop her from performing without explaining why. Eventually, Molly tells Libby the truth, but she decides to go on anyway by turning her singing act into a spoken verse poetry act. It ends up working, much to Scratch's disappointment. Molly agrees to be more honest with Libby, except when it comes to Scratch. So yes, Libby was about to perform a singing act for the school's talent show, but unfortunately, she was terrible at it. But with Molly's help, it was years. So yeah, that's what happened. Okay, this has been a wonderful live stream. I wish to thank those who are watching. I wish to thank all of you for liking my videos, watching them, and whatnot. If you want me to do another live stream, let me know in the comments in one of my videos which live stream video I should do next. But I wish to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay out of trouble, and I'm Movie Watcher 123, and I'll be in your movie seat. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.